not just in Joe and Kirsty's case, but any missing person here in Australia. That little piece of information that you may have could just be that missing link that the police need to tie the evidence that they already have all together.
More details are emerging about the shark that mauled a surfer near Port Macquarie this morning. An expert from the Department of Primary Industries tells police it was a white shark between 3.8 and 4.2 metres in size. Chief Inspector Martin Burke says the wounded 44-year-old made attempts to fight off the animal before being attacked.
The reports are the man has tried to fight this shark for up to 30 seconds and has then swum himself to shore, where he has realised that he sustained significant lower leg injuries. First aid was tended to at the scene.
Donald Trump's mugshot has been released after he surrendered at a jail in the US state of Georgia. The former US president looks straight at the camera with a scowl on his face. It's Mr Trump's fourth criminal booking this year. He's facing 13 charges of election interference in Georgia. But the 77-year-old is maintaining his innocence.
We did nothing wrong at all, and we have every right, every single right, to challenge an election that we think is dishonest.
It's been found that our luggage is most likely to go missing in Europe. 26 million bags have been reported missing during air travel in the past 12 months. Dean Long from the Australian Travel Industry Association says there is one airport which is experiencing critical workforce shortages.
Most of it is happening at Heathrow at the moment. They have the largest shortage of people globally. So if you're flying elsewhere in Europe and avoid Heathrow, you're usually going to be okay.
Now turning to 5AA sport, and round 24 in the AFL gets underway tonight. Essendon play Collingwood at the MCG. Well, the Crows will train in the West this afternoon. Adelaide assistant coach Nathan Van Berlo wants to end their campaign this year with a win. He says it will help set the club up for 2024. They play the West Coast in Perth tomorrow night. Well, the AFL is comfortable with how Melbourne has handled allegations over the behaviour of its senior coach. Outgoing boss Gil McLachlan says he isn't convinced Simon Goodwin has done anything wrong.
I feel comfortable with the action Melbourne Football Club's executive took. Yeah, well, WorkCover will do their bit. I don't have any substantive information at the moment that is, WorkCover. If WorkCover come up with something, then obviously we'd respond to that.
And in the Big Bash, Ollie Davies has signed a 2-year extension with the Sydney Thunder. His brother Joel has jumped ship to the Sydney Sixers. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Afternoon, and no longer a crash on Main South Road near Seaford Road. Got delays inbound at the moment. At the airport, you find some urgent waterworks slowing things up there. That's Donald Bradman Drive just near the golf course. And sluggish at the moment, Modbury due to asphalt work. Smart Road near the Oban entry, speeds 25. Busy, Cliff Street, Glengarry with a camera, Anglevale Road at Anglevale. Looking for a pool this summer? Book now with Adelaide Fiberglass Pools. Make the price rise and swim this summer. Go to AdelaideFiberglassPools.com.au for your quick quote. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, mostly sunny this afternoon, partly cloudy tomorrow 18, partly cloudy Sunday 17, and then mostly sunny on Monday 19. Right now it's 23 degrees. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Brenton Raglis. Tonight, a little girl stabbed by another student at a northern suburbs primary school. Will SA school teachers go on strike? We'll have their decision. Donald Trump's mugshot released to the world as he's arrested over election interference. And good news for travellers. Another airline set to take off from Adelaide to Bali. See the full story live on 9 News at 6 p.m. and on 9 Now.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Tom Jonas actually announced that he's retiring. That allowed the discussion to start on who should be Port Adelaide's next captain.
So you've done it with pride. You wore the number one. Who are you bestowing it on?
Okay, courageous, unselfish, inspiring. Are 3 of the traits that I think you need.
Rowie and Timmy G.
I think Butters fills all 3.
Yeah. Right now, it's Ollie Wines, mate.
4 p.m. weekdays on 5AA. It may not be that exciting to learn that Playford Pavers are one of the few companies that still make their own pavers on site. Riveting, isn't it? But what if I told you that because Playford Pavers make their own pavers for driveways, entertaining areas and pathways, you pay a lot less? How good is that? Pay less at Playford Pavers. Visit playfordpavers.com.au.
It's been gone for decades. It's a thing of the past. But even today, it haunts some of us. If you suffered from polio as a child or it affected your parents, Polio SA Support Group would like to hear from you. Symptoms like weakness, joint pain and fatigue may still persist and can be managed. Polio SA is committed to making life for polio survivors as comfortable as possible. Find out more at poliosa.org.au.
The Art Gallery of South Australia is excited to present an Australian exclusive, FIVEAA and Diego, Love and Revolution. This exhibition will feature the iconic works of two of the most influential and loved artists of the 20th century, Frida Kahlo and Diego Rivera. Today, both are worshipped globally for their fusion of traditional Mexican folk art and international modernism. For tickets and more information, visit agsa.sa.gov.au. Proudly supported by 1395, Adelaide's 5AA.
We the strong.
Yeah, tough as granite.
We the fans. We the brave.
Fierce collision.
We the future.
Rising AFLW star.
We the W. We the ready. Are you?
History-making moment.
The 2023 NAB AFLW season starts 1st of September. Get down to a game this season. Head to women's.afl/tickets.
If your business needs finance fast, speak to Universal Finance right now. Universal Finance make business loans easy. Unsecured business loans and business overdrafts. Universal Finance can help your business now with same-day settlements in most cases. See Universal Finance in Kent Town or search Universal Finance. This is general advice only, and you should consider the terms and conditions before determining whether this advice is suitable for your situation.
The passing of someone close places unique stress on family and friends. At this time, Farrell and O'Neill Funerals are here to provide reassurance and peace of mind. Farrell and O'Neill offer creative guidance and advice to tailor a service that best honours your loved one. Whether a large gathering or a small, intimate service, Farrell and O'Neill share their generations of experience in tailoring a unique and meaningful farewell. Proudly SA family-owned and operated, because it's personal.
The 5AA Player app lets you listen to all your favourite 5AA shows wherever you go.
5AA Afternoons with Jade Robran. The 5AA Food and Wine Show with Chris Jarmer from Jarmer's Kitchen, thanks to Smeg and Parafield Airport Liquor.
Jolly good afternoon, Christopher. Have you been out and about enjoying the sunshine?
Good afternoon, Jade. Yes, actually, as I was driving in, I was thinking I was going to say that. What a beautiful day today.
So
and
good.
It feels like spring already. I've got a spring recipe for next week because it's the 1st of September next Friday.
Nice.
But,
I reckon you might be talking about lamb, and I've actually got a question here that's popped up from Kerry, which we'll get to in a minute. But what's on the menu today?
So I'm doing an Italian classic, which is a veal involtini.
So excited.
Germans do a similar thing called a roulade, or the French roulade. They can be known as braciola as well. So basically, you can use veal or you can use beef topside or yearling. Sorry, not topside. Sirloin.
Yeah.
Porterhouse. Take all the fat off, and we need to beat that out nice and thin, pretty much exactly how I would do my veal schnitzel at the restaurant. And actually the veal, I have not seen veal this light in Australia for a long time. And
I was going to say, how pretty pink is that?
It looks like pork almost, doesn't it?
It does.
And I took a photo and sent a photo to my dad saying, Dad, look at the veal, because I get my veal back straps, they're called, in Cryovac, and then when you open them, you can't really tell what the colour is, and some of them had this beautiful light colour, and most of the time they're a bit darker. Unlike when I was in France, the veal over there would never get darker than this. So, but
what does that actually mean for that piece of meat? Why is it like that?
Milk. Well, they say milk-fed veal is the best, so it never eats grass. It sounds bad, so it only eats the mother's milk, and that's why the meat doesn't colour.
Okay.
But
you don't want to think about it too much.
We won't go into that. Otherwise,
moving on.
Turn everybody off. Sometimes you don't like to know where your food comes from or how it gets there, but as long as it tastes nice, I suppose.
Yeah, I agree.
So I've got my nice thin pieces of veal backstrap, and I'm just going to season those lightly with salt and pepper.
Lovely.
And then I have some nicely shaved. I buy gypsy ham. It's a Barossa Fine Foods. It has the dark skin on the outside. It's got a really good smoky flavour. Now you can use prosciutto, or some people put spinach in their involtinis. So I'm using ham today.
Yum. That gypsy ham's such a win.
Yeah, and we use that for our croque monsieur.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got some provolone cheese. Provolone cheese is very common in all your supermarkets these days. You can get the little logs.
And don't forget, you can tune in to the 5AA Facebook and YouTube live stream thanks to Foodland Supermarkets, and you can watch Chris at his craft.
And then I've got some sun-dried tomatoes. Now, you don't see a lot of... Sun-dried tomatoes used to be huge. Now, then you sort of started seeing more semi-dried tomatoes, which have the more sort of... but today I'm using the really sort of nice, sweet sun-dried tomatoes. Now, all it is a matter of, once this is in here, I'm going to roll it up a bit like I would a burrito. So you fold the insides in,
right,
and then just roll that.
Sort of so like they're stuffed
It's
feel.
like a spring roll, yeah.
Oh.
So.
Oh wow, that's just stuck together beautifully.
Yeah, so that's fold the insides in and then just roll it. Some people put skewers through them as well.
Mm.
And seal them first, but I'm not going to seal, because I'm using veal, I'm not going to seal it. And what I would do with that now, I would put that in, if you had a Le Creuset pot with a lid, put that in there, or put it in a baking tray, and try and get a tray that the size is what you're going to put in there, if you know what I mean. So you want to fill that tray so they don't move around.
Okay.
So they don't lose.
So they hold their shape?
Hold their shape, yeah.
Okay.
And then it's just a matter of covering that with tomato sugo and a little bit of beef glaze. If you don't have beef glaze, just put in some beef stock, and then they'll go in the oven at about 160 degrees for, try 45 minutes, check them, put a skewer comes out nice and...
So a low heat?
Low heat, 45 to an hour. Now look, and if you can use other cuts of meat like thin top side. With those particular cuts, you might need to cook them a little bit longer to get that tenderness.
Okay. We've got a message here. I love real veal. It's quite hard to get for the average person, though I did learn that I can get it in springtime.
Yeah, no, definitely. If you can find some real light-coloured veal, it's so good.
Yeah, that one's a win.
All right, and what I want to serve, I don't think I've done polenta before, but I've got a 5-minute polenta.
Right.
So when I say 5 minutes, this thing, it literally cooks in 5 minutes. Some polentas you got to really cook out, but if you look in the supermarket and you see some packets of polenta and they have a 5-minute with a circle on it.
Yeah, that's the one you want.
Yeah, buy that one. It's so easy to use. So all I need is, for this recipe, I've got a litre of water. I'm going to put a little bit of salt in the water, and then I have 200 grams of butter, and I've got 100 grams of Parmesan cheese and 300 grams of polenta.
Maybe explain polenta for those that don't know what it is.
It's basically cornmeal.
Right,
yeah.
All right.
So,
maybe mashed potato alternative?
Yeah, and it is, because it's corn, it's gluten-free as well.
Mm-hmm.
And once you cook this polenta that I'm going to do now, you can set it in a tray. It'll set super hard, and then you can cut it up and fry it like polenta chips. So I might have to stand up when I do this, because I need to whisk straight away as soon as I get the polenta in there.
And so you're putting your parmesan in there as well?
Yeah. So this is going to...
In with the water?
Yeah. So the parmesan will... And that'll give it not only a bit of a cheesiness to it, it'll give it some nice flavour as well.
My golly, I've never put parmesan in water. I would have thought it'd go all curdly or something.
No, it's like...
sticks to the polenta.
Once the polenta's in there, I suppose it's like making mac and cheese or...
Yep.
This...
Your portable stove.
This is,
too hot.
This is super... I don't know how to turn it down.
It's cooking in 2 minutes, not 5.
Yeah, so I'm getting... It's spitting a little bit, so... But, look, once there's enough heat in there, once the polentas... I whisk that in with a whisk.
Yeah.
And then, once it's all combined, I've got no lumps, I can take my whisk out. And
Have you got a whisking technique?
I do with certain things. You're supposed to, like when you're making sabayons and that, my dad used to tell me you got to whisk in a figure of 8.
Yes.
So you get taught that as a young chef. I like to, when I'm making hollandaise, I like to spin my bowl and whisk my egg yolks at the same time. Same as when we do the vanilla slice, because you've got like 16 eggs, a giant bowl, and you've just got to keep whisking. Sometimes you might change arms if you need to whisk for a long time.
You actually have to have really fit arms, don't you, to be a chef?
That's probably the only fit part about me.
Okay, so tell us about the sugo.
So sugo is just a tomato passata or tomato sauce cooked with onions on a low heat, and I use that in like a seafood linguine. I use that in when I make eggplant parmesan. So it's basically in a kitchen. It's the sauce you would have, and you use it for so many different things.
Right. All right.
And so that's your base tomato sauce.
And so, do you add garlic, onion,
A little bit
salt,
of garlic,
pepper?
onion. I throw a whole bunch of basil in there.
Oh, yum.
Some Italians make their sugo with turkey necks in there. Some put whole chickens in there. Some put pork bones in there.
Yum.
But we make ours purely vegetarian.
Okay, and that you just keep in that. Yeah, so versatile.
All right, I'm nearly ready for plate up, so you can see how quickly that. I can sit down again.
That's so much easier than mashed potato, I must say.
As a quick carb, if you don't want to peel potatoes and that, have some polenta in the fridge. And polenta with a sausage pasta is unbelievable. I remember Andre used to have the polenta bar here in the city,
I do, yeah.
and they used to do a great soft polenta with Italian sausages.
Yum.
But then when you're done serving it soft, just straight in a tray, set it till it goes hard, and you can cut it into chips, or you can cut it into pieces and barbecue it on the barbecue. We used to do a great dish up at Chain of Ponds years ago, which was grilled polenta with 2 Italian sausages and some roasted peppers.
I don't know that I've ever tried it.
Oh, you try it now, you'll love it.
I don't know that I ever have.
So before I plate up, I'm gonna talk about today's wine.
Yes, please. What's Pal's paired?
Now, Jamie, it's good having Jamie and Sam on the wine because they've got a grape variety I've never even tried here before. So it's a Rusden Wildwood Sin Salt. Sin Salt. Yeah, I hope I'm pronounced Sin So. So yeah, it's obviously it must be a French variety, so you don't pronounce the T.
Welcome. Come in. He can smell the polenta, Jimmy G.
It's a Rusden Wildwood, so from the Barossa Valley. Before I plate Timmy's food up, I'm going to have a little splash of this. Sinso.
So what do they say? That looks light. Pinot-ish?
Yeah, it does look light.
A little bit Pinot. You're our wine guru
yes,
this
indeed.
week, aren't you, Jimmy
Light
G?
and rusty. Nice bouquet.
All right.
Mrs. Bouquet.
You ready to eat, Jimmy?
Yes.
Did
Yes,
you
anything
learn-
you make, I'll eat. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, while the cat's away.
Yes.
When you plate up the polenta, I want it in the middle of the plate. And the same as if you were serving this with bolognese or sausage, I'm going to make a little well in the middle. And that way my sauce should stay in there.
Have you had polenta before?
Yes.
I don't think I have.
I went to the polenta shop and bought half a dozen of them, and they were lovely. Thanks.
So no, you haven't.
I think it's been underneath something I've eaten. I'm sure of it at some stage.
I went to the polenta shop and bought some. They're not apples.
There was a specialised polenta restaurant. You're not far.
Well, there you go.
Nice try.
Okay, so put that nice rich sauce over the top.
Oh, that looks lovely.
That is so rich.
And then we're going to garnish this with a few little
these are sort of meals
basil leaves.
you don't have any other meals.
No, and then you have a little nap in the afternoon after that.
Yeah, thank you.
You're allowed to.
Oh.
If you eat all of this, we'll tell our boss you just have to have a little siesta.
How good a nap would that be?
Yes.
I'm going to get the George Costanza set up underneath the desk where he goes to
Get
sleep.
a snuggie and
Yeah,
just
have the
pop in
little
under
alarm
there.
clock.
Sea salt there. Here you go.
Wow.
So inside of this, there's a little surprise.
Yeah.
So cut into the veal.
It's like not a Kinder surprise. It's a Timmy
adult
G
surprise.
surprise.
Excuse me. I was just thinking, is it like when you find a coin in a pudding or something like that? Or
Kind
No,
of,
it's
but
not-
I think this is better.
It's not going to break
There's
your teeth.
layers and
there is layers.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go. I'll give Jade a little bit of polenta.
How good are pals, though, to our beautiful friends at Parafield Airport Liquor, just to give them a buzz and say, so what would you have for this dish?
I know, it's so good.
Thanks.
And I must admit, they normally...
Sam and Jamie are so good at pairing.
They text me very early in the week, and
They
sometimes
do.
I'm not even ready with my recipe, so I get back to them as soon as I can.
So this is made up of little beads.
It's ground cornmeal. Cornmeal.
It's beautiful.
Oh, I can taste the parmesan.
Mm.
Oh, that's tasty.
So you can even...
Is that parmesan inside, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of parmesan. We've put
And
truffle
butter.
salsa in the polenta before as well, and done like truffled parmesan chips.
Do you know, I don't think I'd like this on its own. I think it'd be a bit meh. But with what you've added to it, it's really tasty.
Yeah, but with the parmesan chips, we serve that with the sulgo on top, and then a bit of extra parmesan.
Oh, see, now we're talking.
Yeah, so you got to add a bit of sauce to it.
Yum.
My wife's family used to make this thing called a beef olive. This reminds
Beef
me
olive.
of it.
Exactly, that was the other name that I was trying to think of.
Right.
And they put gherkins inside.
Yeah, it was like
what nationality is she?
Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and they would wrap it up and then put a toothpick in it to hold it all together. Yeah,
and then cook
beautiful.
it in a nice sauce. Yeah, so beef olives, that's another name, definitely.
There you go.
All right, so now, Timmy, after you finish that mouthful, you have to talk us through the flavours. What are you feeling? What's bursting in your mouth?
You know, it's like almost like that meatball type feeling with the sauce and everything around it, but you get the layers like you're talking about coming through because you've got the beef that's wrapped around, and then inside you're going, oh, what's that cheesy?
And there's a little bit of smoky ham flavour
a
in
little
there
bit
as
of
well.
smoky ham as well. So
Does
then,
it feel nice and tender?
well, now, but I now start thinking it's almost meatball cross parmigiana inside. Yeah,
It is a bit of a fancy parmigiana.
Yeah, well, you can, if you're not using veal, you can use a very similar recipe where you roll up eggplant with provolone inside and bake them as rolls if you don't want to do the layered parmesan.
Oh, yum.
And that's another good one.
very
So
smart.
this wine, Chris, have you poured yourself a little
Yes.
bit? Okay, so what wine? Because you said it's a new grape variety. So what is it? What are you kind of?
It's one I haven't tried before, so pronounced Cinsault.
One I haven't heard of.
So made in
what
grown
are
in
you
the Barossa
thinking?
Valley.
It's a bit like what is it? A bit like a Pinot, a bit like a Grenache.
Definitely more Pinot Grenache type style.
So lighter.
Very light. Yeah,
It's a
lovely.
lighter.
It's something you'd
And
find in the
It's
south
particularly
of
good
France.
in the warmer
Nice.
the warmer months as well.
You're
so
on fire with all this knowledge.
Definitely.
if you don't want a big, I mean, Rusden have some big reds, but if you don't want something to knock you around in summer, this would probably be your go-to.
You know,
It's a good food wine.
yes, sort of that pizza wine, isn't it? Yeah.
Can I
definitely.
just quickly get a message in from Kerry? Because she sent it in before the show started. I've been gifted a beautiful, from the country, leg of lamb, and I'd love to roast it in a Greek-style marinade. Wondering if Chris would mind sharing one. My barbecue is up the creek at the moment, so I'll be going into the oven. Many thanks once again.
Oh, Jamie Oliver actually does it. Was it a leg of lamb?
Yeah.
Yeah, where you butterfly the whole thing open and lots of lemon and garlic and pepper.
Rosemary.
And then just chuck that on the barbecue and just keep basting that and turn it over and keep turning it till it becomes nice and tender. Actually, I'm doing lamb next week, so there'll definitely be a lamb recipe next Friday.
With my Greek one, I stab it and then put whole cloves of garlic shoved in.
In my whole legs, I do that too, yeah.
And then with a little bit of rosemary sprigs, and then I actually put a little bit of honey. I just drizzle a bit of honey, salt and pepper, so that it crisps the outside. That's my trick.
I like Moroccan flavours with my lamb as well, where you got cumin,
couscous,
and couscous, yeah, dates. Actually, I need to do a shout out to Jim and Marg Knight, who are big listeners, and they had their anniversary dinner or lunch the other day at the restaurant. So,
happy anniversary!
And me and Marg had a photo, so I've got a
congratulations.
fan. So there you go.
You have to, instead of all your
Sun-dried
Crows
tomato.
and Port players, you'll have to start adding yourself up
Sun-dried
there.
tomato in there?
Yes.
Oh, yummy.
Good pick there.
Love
Quinton
that.
said, hi, Chris. Used to make a 24 egg yolk hollandaise twice a day. Bloody hard. My arms are like Popeye.
Yeah. That's a good effort. 24, like the most I think I've done is 16 at a time, but 24, that's a good effort.
That's a very good effort.
That's 3 times our standard recipe. So, yeah.
Wow.
Our go-to is an 8 egg yolk.
Well, thank you so much. Parafield Airport Liquor has the perfect partner for every dish. And that was Chris Jarmer, as you know, for the 5AA Food and Wine Show, thanks to Smeg and Pals. Building or renovating, your first choice should be visiting the Smeg showroom at Debney Distributors. Taste the difference with Smeg and Pals, the home of all of Australia's great wines. We'll be back soon.
I bet your dad loves his nuts, and the very best nuts are South Australia's own Charlesworth nuts. G'day folks, I'm Brett Charlesworth, and we have over 50 stunning gift hampers, baskets and bags to choose from this Father's Day. They're all brimming with Charlesworth's mouth-watering nuts and chocolates. All you have to do is pick the one your dad will love the most and then watch his eyes light up. You can't go wrong. Shop online now or at one of our 12 family-owned stores. Why Charlesworth this Father's Day? Because fresh nuts taste better.
Look around your house and yard. If you see old tools, broken bike frames, an old fridge and even that old car, don't look at it as junk, look at it as dollar signs. At Knorr Metals, our priority is to give you the best value for your scrap metal disposal. We offer cash for scrap Monday to Friday and Saturday mornings for a range of different steel supplies and car components, including bodies and radiators. Get cash for your scrap at Knorr Metals, 255 Grand Junction Road, Ottaway.
If you're thinking of building or you're renovating your kitchen, you've got a lot of choices to make, but the first choice should be Smeg. We've got an amazing Smeg showroom right here in Adelaide. Debney Distributors is in Dudley Park, and inside you'll find the full Smeg range on display, with everything from ovens, cooktops, dishwashers and refrigerators to wine cellars, kettles, toasters and more. Smeg seamlessly pairs powerful performance with architectural design. There are even cooking demonstrations. You really can taste the difference with Smeg. Smeg has also been proudly made in Italy since 1948, and their colour, design and technology is world famous. Smeg, technology with style. Visit the Smeg showroom today at Debney Distributors, Harrison Road in Dudley Park.
Keep it clean and running like a dream with F10 fuel treatment. Whether it's cars, trucks, earth-moving machinery, boats or bikes, petrol or diesel, no matter what you drive, F10 makes engines run smoother and more efficiently, cleans and protects injectors and pumps, and extends the life of your engine. F10 removes water, wax, varnishes and diesel bug contamination. F10 fuel treatment. Available at Atom, Bailey's Marine Fuels, Blackwoods, Burson's and Repco stores.
For anyone with chronic low back pain, there's always one thing on your mind: fix my lower back. Reactivate is a clinically proven restorative therapy that works through a surgically implanted pulse generator. Think of it like having built-in physical therapy, which can feel like a deep tissue massage. To learn more about Reactivate, visit fixmylowerback.com.au. Patients must talk to their health professional about whether the Reactivate implantable pulse generator device is right for them and suitable as part of the overall plan to manage their intractable chronic mechanical low back pain. Outcomes may vary for each patient. Patients should discuss with their healthcare professional the factors that could impact the level and timing of the effect. The Reactivate IPG device is not a first-line treatment for chronic mechanical low back pain. Surgery is required to use the Reactivate IPG device, and any surgical procedure carries risk.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Good afternoon. Mel Usher with the latest news headlines. A 12-year-old girl is recovering with non-life-threatening injuries after a stabbing at a suburban primary school. A lucky escape for diners at a Clarence Park cafe today after a giant gum tree came crashing down. A man is in custody following a series of car fires at Oaklands Park. And in sport, the AFL has confirmed a score review change ahead of the final series, prompted by the controversial end to the Crows game last weekend. The 5AA forecast, mostly sunny this afternoon, partly cloudy tomorrow, 18. Right now it's 23. We'll have more news at 4 and as it happens on 5AA.
5AA Weekend Breakfast.
Caterpillars do appear to be beautiful when they morph into the butterfly.
Phil from Henley says the brown woolly bear caterpillar becomes a tiger moth.
Oh.
There we go.
What's the tiger moth look like?
Tiger?
I only know a plane.
Tiger?
Weekends from 6 a.m. on 1395, Adelaide's 5AA.
Is there a God? What is the meaning of life? Do I actually need unlimited data to watch a few cat videos on my commute? Cute.
Question everything, especially your telco plan. Get the data you need at low prices with Aldi Mobile.
Ray White, big name in real estate, but also the biggest name in business broking. What makes us big? Our people, like Brett Buckley and his team. MBA, lecturer, and multi-time SA Business Broker of the Year. Brett doesn't just read a P&L, he feels it. If you're selling or expanding your business, Brett can take your business apart and find you more money. And we're not talking small change. Go on, touch base with Brett. Search Ray White Business Sales SA.
If you think coffee has two tastes, good and bad, you're in for a life-changing lesson. Simply Coffee are Adelaide's coffee royalty, sending coffee lovers home with fresh and traditionally roasted coffee beans daily. As masters of beanology, they understand every coffee connoisseur has their own flavour and will find yours with a selection of 18 beans from across the globe and unlimited blends, provided either as fresh beans or Nespresso-compatible capsules. So come meet Peter and the team, find your ideal grind and upgrade from coffee made with love to coffee made with passion. Simply Coffee, a cellar door for coffee lovers. Visit their Kent Town store or order online at simplycoffee.com.au.
Feeling the burn? Save cash with Cheapest Chips Hot Buys.
Cheapest Chips.
Stay fresh with Rexona deodorants, 2 for $7.99. Pay just $19.99 for a 32-pack of soap and toilet rolls. Clean up with Morning Fresh dishwashing liquid, 675ml, $3.99. And Pepsi and Schweppes soft drinks, 1.1 to 1.25 litres, 2 for $4. Check out this week's catalogue for more hot buys in-store and online. Save cash and live cheaper with Cheapest Chips Hot Buys now.
Hi, I'm Peter Berkowitz from Berkowitz Furniture. Our Australian-made sofa sale is on now. Save hundreds of dollars on great Aussie brands you can customise to your heart's content. Choose your fabric, choose your size. Don't compromise, customise. Save on quality Australian-made furniture from an Australian-owned company, Berkowitz. We're not just a furniture store, we're a furniture family. In-store at Mile End Homemaker Centre and online.
It's official. Prawn season is here and SA King Prawns is the place to go for the freshest catch. When Tony, Heather and their crew aren't at sea, they're selling their delicious catch in the SA King Prawn store in Edinburgh North and SA Farmers Market Paraka. Pick up 2 kilos of raw medium prawns for $40. Buy 2 cartons and get $10 off. And Coffin Bay oysters from $15 a dozen. SA King Prawns. Saturdays only at 15 Jewetton Road, Edinburgh North. Sundays only at the SA Farmers Market Paraka.
The 5AA Player app lets you listen to all your favourite 5AA shows wherever you go.
5AA Afternoons with Jade Robran.
Welcome back to the program. It's 25 minutes to 4 o'clock. Lots happening in the sports show coming up a little later on. And don't forget, the 5AA Facebook and YouTube live stream is on right now, thanks to Foodland Supermarkets. And speaking of Foodland Supermarkets, I have a couple of show tickets to give away, and you can buy your tickets at Foodland. In fact, I've got a family pass to give away. The show, as you know, it's on from September the 2nd to the 10th. You can book your tickets at theshow.com.au. I want to hear from you guys. What was your first show bag that you can remember buying? Josh and I were having a chat today. I think mine was Care Bears. I reckon I saved up and Care Bears was my first one. Could have been My Little Pony. Not 100% sure. 8223 0000 is the number to call. And Port fans, I want to hear from you. I've got a bit of a competition. Should be an easy one if you're a die-hard Port supporter. I've got 5AA locker room passes to give away. So what you've got here is a ticket for you and a mate to get along to see Port Adelaide take on the Richmond Tigers in the 5AA locker room. It's on this Sunday afternoon at the Adelaide Oval. Kickoff is at midday. And here's what you get. A reserved seat in the Riverbank stand in level 1, pre-game lunchbox, halftime Balfour's footy fare and also mini desserts, continuous 5-hour beverage package. As I said, happening on Sunday, the 27th. Kickoffs at 12 o'clock at Adelaide Oval. You can actually buy your tickets, though, at portadelaidefc.com.au. I want to know, what is the name of Sam Powell Pepper's dog? If you can pick that, you win the tickets. 8223 0000 is the number to call. Alrighty, now we are going to be counting down TV's hottest couples, the best TV couples of all time. And joining us is Associate Professor Lauren Rosewarne from University of Melbourne and a TV pop culture guru herself. Hello, Lauren. Lovely to have you on the program.
Hello, Jade. Thanks for having me.
Such a fun topic. There are so many couples. Have you got a standout?
Look, straight away my thoughts went to a television show called The Closer. I'm not sure if you have seen it. It's a kind of crime drama with Kira Sedgwick in the lead. And I thought her relationship with the character Fritz came to mind as a favourite. It doesn't even make the list. The list is full of the predictable couples that you might think of, for Rachel and Ross on Friends. And I guess they're just not my personal favourites, but they're certainly on the list. Buffy and Angel were there, Sam and Diane from Cheers. So quite a few older television series were on the list.
Let's count down some of our favourites here. Okay, let's kick off with this iconic couple.
Yeah, what do you want?
My husband by my side. What the?
Happy anniversary! Oh.
Hi, prom day.
Marge, poor boo.
Oh, are they not the best? They're so, they fight all the time. He really annoys her, but she just loves him.
She really does, and it's the classic, I think, good example of sitcoms where, and just for those listeners at home, that's of course Marge and Homer, the couples where the wife is also treating her husband like a second or third child, and it seems that for her, Homer was her fourth child because she was constantly having to be the forbearing mother to his nonsense.
What about Ross and Rachel, Friends?
Oh my God, did she get off the plane? Did she get off the plane?
I got off the plane.
She got off the plane.
Oh, they were in love, out of love, but they always loved each other.
Yeah, I think the couples that people tend to like are the ones who their journey to love and a happy ending is not linear. And as we know with Rachel and Ross, they had the infamous break. We were on a break. And that has entered the lexicon even decades after that series finished, where people still refer to that concept as the break and what you're allowed to do while on a break.
Okay, I reckon maybe could go number one. Here we have Scott and Charlene from Neighbours.
Charlene, Edna, will you have this man to be your wedded husband and live together in accordance with God's ordinance in the holy estate of matrimony? Will you love him, comfort him, honor and keep him in sickness and in health, and, forsaking all other, keep you only unto him for as long as you both shall live?
I will.
There's a little micro bit of Scott and Charlene there.
The
very loud.
1987 wedding with the Angry Anderson song in the background.
Brilliant.
It's perfect. It's a bit of Australiana there.
They were seriously Romeo and Juliet of Ramsay Street, were they not?
They really were, and I think this was part of the fact that they both returned to Erinsborough for the final episode, which wasn't really the final episode because the show's been rebooted, but nonetheless, that they both made their way back there, I think was a nice nod to fans.
What about Molly and Brendan, A Country Practice? Oh God, I hadn't heard that. That's tragic. What?
Yeah, that's not the scene you wanted to play.
Maybe not. What? Wow, what happened?
Yeah, look, I wasn't a fan of the show. I was a little bit young for it, but my understanding is that Molly comes to an unfortunate end, and you still hear people say of their saddest moments in Australian television history, the demise of Molly makes that list.
Okay, let's go to something a little more cheery on a Friday afternoon. All-time comedic favourite couple on Aussie TV, these two, Kath and Kel.
And I tell you what, once these bandages come off, you'll be in real trouble. I'll be straight back on the horse, don't you worry.
Who are you calling a horse? Oh, you great hunk of spunk.
Oh, they are hunks of spunks and foxy morons and everything in between.
Yes, and they had the beautiful dance moves, the iconic dance moves. So I think Kath and Kel definitely deserve to be on that list.
What made them so iconic? And I reckon will stick with us for a very long time.
Yeah, look, I think that they had a number of catchphrases. They dress alike, so they were iconic visually. And I think Australians have a soft spot for homegrown television, particularly when it runs for a number of years. And I think also their general adorable weirdness made them an endearing couple as well. They stood by each other, even though there were things happening around them that were, thoroughly nonsense. They seemed to really love each other.
I think also we can all see a little bit of ourselves in them.
Yeah, and I think that's the sort of, you don't hear it so much now, but when the show was airing, the word adorkable used to be heard a lot, and I think that's really what they were. We've all got sort of a little bit of a nerd or a little bit of a dork inside us. We probably don't dress like our partners the way they did, but nonetheless, that image of them power walking together is, thoroughly iconic.
Absolutely. And not a TV couple, but a special mention nonetheless, Rhonda and Katut.
I've always dreamt of doing something more exotic, and with 15% off my insurance, Amy Safe Driver Awards helped me get there.
I make special drink for you today, Rhonda.
Thank you.
You look so hot today, like a sunrise.
You're naughty. Thank you, Katut.
Oh, so cute. And they just kept coming, these ads, and they fell in love and had babies and lived happily ever after.
And I like that. I mean, there's not a lot of examples, probably because of our short attention spans now, but there aren't a lot of television commercials that develop a story across a number of ads and over a number of years. And the love story of Rhonda and Katut is one of those rare examples. I remember in the early 1990s, Nescafe tried their hand at this with a couple in some regional beachside town, and it was over a number of years and a number of ads, a sort of slow-burning romance, but it was a very slow-burning romance over a cup of Blend 43.
Love it. Thank you, Lauren. Have a great weekend.
And you. Thanks, Jade.
See you later. All right, let's give away these tickets to the 588 Locker Room, Port Adelaide v Richmond. So the question is, what is the name of Sam Powell-Pepper's dog? Jodie in Plimpton, hello.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm well. What do you think it is?
Good. Riley?
Oh, Jodie, it's not. But I am going to send you home with a $50 voucher thanks to Jama's Kitchen. So enjoy that.
Thank you very much.
Have a great weekend. Amy, hello.
Hello.
What do you think Sam Powell-Pepper's dog's name is?
Mojo.
Oh, Amy, unfortunately it is not, but stay on the line and I'm going to flick you a couple of Wallace Cinema passes. We have Nick in Woodville. Hello, Nick. What do you think the dog's name is?
It is Abel.
Let me check.
This is Abel. He's a Roddy Cross Staffy. He's about 8 years old now. I've had him for about 3 years, so yeah, a good boy.
There you go. You got it. Winner, chicken dinner, Nick.
All right.
Now you have to tell me that you're a Port supporter, though.
Oh, 100%. Yep.
Wonderful. Well, you've got to think of a mate and you're heading off to the 5AA Locker Room.
Done deal. Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Have a fantastic time. Stay on the line and Josh will get you sorted. We're going to take a super short break. On the other side, find out what's happening this weekend. And I've still got those show tickets to give away. We'll be back very soon.
This is it. Introducing the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery's biggest grand prize ever. The $5 million Hyde Park grand prize is luxury defined. Imagine coming home to a fully furnished family home in one of Adelaide's most prestigious suburbs, knowing you'll never have to pay a mortgage again. Or you can choose to take $4.5 million in cash. A life of luxury awaits. Join the fight. To see full details, visit homelottery.com.au. Licence M14411.
As you're driving, let your mind wander into that tiny boot space of yours. Imagine it expanding bigger, bigger, bigger. See a dash that is overflowing with technology? You're in the all-new Hyundai Kona. Now imagine not just one SUV, but 3. Electric, petrol N-Line, and hybrid. All-new Hyundai Kona. Imagined to be bold. Imagine that. Hyundai.
Winter, the season of snuggly blankets, rosy cheeks, and the hunt for comfort food that warms your soul. Port Noarlunga Fish and Chips is a winter wonderland for your taste buds. I'll bet piping hot chips and fish would be a great idea for this weekend. They are the masters of hand-cut potato chips from their very own potato farm. Fresh fish, delicious prawns and calamari all crumb daily in the shop. Nothing is frozen. And is there anything better than a proper fish and chip shop, hamburger or gyros? Port Noarlunga Fish and Chips have been family-owned and operated since 1992. That's 30 years. If you stacked every potato fritter they've made, it would probably be longer than the jetty. Get in there this weekend. Port Noarlunga Fish and Chips, 22 Salt Fleet Street, just 30 minutes from the city.
Whether a hobby or a full-blown dairy and livestock farm, they all have one thing in common: the need for good quality steel to keep livestock safe and secure. At Nor Metals, we have just that. From rural fencing and gates to droppers, loading ramps and more, you'll find what you need for your farm. And if we don't, we'll source it for you quickly and at the best price. No matter what kind of farm you have, we'll help you out. At Nor Metals, 255 Grand Junction Road, Ottawa.
Growing up with Mum was an adventure. She was so strong and independent. Then we noticed she was struggling to manage in her large family home, but wasn't quite ready for aged care. Glen Woodley Estate was perfect. Mum has the support she needs and the independence she loves. Her meals, cleaning and linen are taken care of, and she has friends to socialise with in the clubhouse.
Glen Woodley Estate serviced apartments in Myrtlebank are selling now. Visit southerncrosscare.com.au.
I'm Ned, and I'm a geek. I'm no good at voiceovers, but amazing at fixing your tech problems. All Geeks to You techies work on any device and give great advice. For in-person or remote tech support, go to geekstoyou.com.au. That's the number 2, the letter U.
The FIVEAA player lets you stream FIVEAA on your phone wherever you are.
FIVEAA Afternoons with Jade Robran.
Welcome back to Afternoons. We're going to find out what's happening around our great state, all the fun things you can get up to. But first, in about 10 minutes' time, the sports show with Timmy G and Rowie is on. Rowie's on the sick list. So they've called in the one and only Warren Tredders. Good afternoon.
Yeah, the super sub thing's not really working.
Stop kissing each other. Just
don't. Well, I don't kiss them because otherwise I'd be off sick.
Right. They've both got crook voices.
Well, that tells you how close they are, doesn't it?
Stay far away.
Exactly. So it should be a good show. The Crows on the way to the West, take on West Coast. There's a little bit of a added dimension of emotion into that game because last time I think Tex kicked 10 and it was embarrassingly poor if you're a West Coast fan. Adelaide, it was just party time.
It was.
And then you look at this game and you go, you think Adelaide should win and win comfortably. But West Coast have found some form of late. They've won some games that people said you shouldn't win because you need that first draft pick. But they're also farewelling some champions too. So Shannon Hearn, Luke Shuey and Nick Natnui, who won't play, but the other two are playing. So there'll be that emotion to that game too. Yeah. So that probably makes it a bit more interesting. We'll get into whether the Crows have actually improved this year or not because they finished 14th last year. They're sitting 13th now, and just think from Crows fans, it was just there, wasn't it? About 6 weeks ago, it was there. There were games that they pushed the top team so well, but then lost games. You're like, how did we lose that against that team?
Yeah, by
You know?
1 or 2 points.
Yeah, and
I know.
also
it's
we'll
a season of what could have been.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
We move on.
Exactly.
That's for you to talk about.
Timmy chats to James Raleigh, and we'll preview the Sample, a big weekend there. So who can get in? Can North Adelaide get in? They have to beat Sturt this week to get in, so it's pretty close. And Port take on the Tigers, a Tigerless team for the first time in probably, not sure what the stats say, but you'd at least say 15, 16, 17 years without a Cochin or a Rewalt in it.
No, unreal, isn't it?
That's unbelievable.
So they'll be up and about too, farewelling those two.
Yeah, farewell those two. They're realistically, they're not playing, but they haven't been the huge contributors for Richmond. So the game for Richmond, for me, is Port should win and win comfortably, but Martin's still in good form. You keep going through Bolton, the skipper, and Curvis and the ruck. They're still their best players. And sadly, Cochin and Rewalt have been superstars, but they weren't contributing like they were in the best eras of their life. So that'll be a really interesting game. At a ridiculous time. My son is playing his grand final, and I know Port Adelaide put a please explain to the AFL out when this came out. This is the first week of underage grand finals.
I know.
On Sunday. So you know what you do? Port Adelaide's your top 4 team. You make them play on a Sunday afternoon at midday.
Yeah, I know. When most parents are going to be down.
So under 13s and younger this week, and then next week it's 13s and over.
Stinks.
It's just
stupid. I know, our family's split in half this week because of that very thing. It's
ridiculous.
Stinks. Thanks, Tredders,
No
very,
worries.
very much. Big show coming up in a few moments' time. Let's go to Alicia in Kidman Park, who's going to talk to us about her first show bag. What was it?
Hello.
Hi.
My first show bag that I can remember getting was the Mega Warheads Ultimate bag. I'm not sure if you remember those, Jane.
Yes, they
were the
still
best.
have it.
They do, but they're not the same. So I got one last year, and it was definitely not that same tear-jerking sourness.
So I was going to say, are you a sour or are you a hothead?
Oh, I'm a sour.
Yeah,
totally
me too.
Sour. So I used to trade with my cousins, and we would wait and count to see who would last the longest.
And your head would nearly blow off, wouldn't it? Alicia, I would love to send you to the show. I will send you a family pass and you can take your cousin again and have a warhead off.
Oh, thank you.
Pleasure, Treasure. Go back to Josh. He will flick you the tickets. The Royal Adelaide Show on from September 2nd to the 10th. You can book your tickets at theshow.com.au and also find them at Foodland.
It's Friday then. It's Saturday, Sunday, what? It's Friday.
Lots happening, as always, in our beautiful city. Joining us is Mohammed Hassan, the creative director of Halal Food Festival. Mohammed, thanks for joining us. Where's this happening and what can we eat and treat ourselves with?
Hello, thank you and welcome. Yes, for the first time in Adelaide, the Halal Food Festival is in Victoria Square. It's on today and tomorrow till 10 p.m. And tomorrow, obviously, it's open from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And basically, it brings you cultures from all over the world and cuisines from all over the world in one spot. So from the east to the west, from Asia to Africa to the Middle East to the subcontinent, basically it gets everyone to experience the world in one spot.
Sounds like a fantastic afternoon. Another one that's going to be a cracker. It's the Gula Show. That's on this weekend. So you can head up and buy your tickets. If you jump online, you can head to the website, gulashow.org.au. Nixon Terrace in Gula. Tomorrow kicks off at 9 a.m. Guys, thanks so much. A huge weekend in sport coming up. The boys will preview all of it, bring you all the ins and outs of the Port and Crows teams. Thanks for a fun weekend. Stay safe, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Here comes life. Prepare for it with Bupa. Search Bupa Health Insurance and join almost 4 million